Maloelele, talo falava, bulavanaka, and welcome to the inaugural Heritage Hockey Tournament coming to you live from Papatoetoe in Auckland. My name is Brad Pittman and I will be here to take you through the action from the first game of the second day of tournament, which sees the New Zealand Pasifika men taking on the New Zealand Indian men. Now, both teams have come off impressive first game wins, with the Indian men beating the Māori Tāne and the Pasifika men winning a penalty shootout against New Zealand Development. I'm joined on the call today by Hockey New Zealand's National Tournament Coordinator and New Zealand Development Assistant Coach Regan Bain. Regan, we watched the Indian men play yesterday in the first match of the tournament. What impressed you most about their game?
Yeah, kia ora Brad and kia ora everybody. Welcome into another beautiful day here in Tamaki Makaurau here in the City of Sails. The Indian men yesterday, I think what impressed me, Brad, was the way they defended. I thought they controlled the middle of the park very well, and they're sort of just poised in their counterattacks, their speed, their skill and their pace all day, and I think they ran the New Zealand Māori side ragged, and they'll be looking to do the same here against the Pasifika team. Yeah,
absolutely. The Pasifika team started extremely fast yesterday and did tire as the game went on. It is a hot day here in Auckland, so hopefully they can maintain the speed of play for the full game. The New Zealand Indian side, however, will be fast. They played long out of the back through some overhead and aerial ball from Nitesh. As we look at their lineup for the day, a couple of guys of note. I just mentioned Nitesh Suka playing central defender at the back for the New Zealand Indian side. He will be the director of play. The other one I do want to mention after a cracking goal yesterday is Kelly and Jerem, the captain. He's wearing number 9 and the Indian side are wearing black today. Our Pasifika men's side in the white strip, Aidan Fraser had an absolute mammoth game at the back for the Pasifika side. And also check out Callum Grassick in goal for the Pasifika men's side. He won them a penalty shootout yesterday to clinch first match points, and he's going to be instrumental if he's going to stop the penalty corner exploits of the New Zealand Indian men's side. Now, the Pasifika men are coached, of course, by Brett Lever, New Zealand hockey legend, and the Indian men by Yogesh Hari. As we kick into this first game, Regan, what are you expecting to see from the Pasifika men?
Yeah, I think the Pasifika men will start as sort of they did yesterday, Brad. I think they started quick, they started fast, they started strong. And as you say, it is a hot day, so if we can get early scoreboard pressure on from the Pasifika men here, they might go a long way to the result they're after today as we get ourselves underway through umpires Max Beach and David Oakley on the matches today.
Yeah, you can see the real intent there. Right from the first hit off, Jan Pedersen, their captain, opting to go forward, attacking Forage down the right-hand side. They didn't come to much, but you can see the intent early is for them to go forward. And right from this first play, they are putting a high press on. Not surprising after we saw them start fast, but we've got an Indian attack here through Brett Menezes. We speak of fast starts, and there is none faster than Kelly and Jerem, who picks up the ball on the baseline, like I said, through Brett Menezes, and through a fantastic piece of skill there, beats Callum Grassick, the goalkeeper I've just been talking about, for his second goal of the tournament, and not what the Pasifika team would have been wanting to start their game with, but there's plenty of talent across this park, and this game will, I'd say there's going to be a lot of goal-scoring opportunities.
Yeah, you're right there, Brad. I think what a start from the Indian side. They first outlet of the game, and they still look long, and it's paid off. Obviously, Kelly and Jerem scored a ripper of a goal yesterday, and he carries on that form. Gives the Indian side a 1-0 advantage here early in the first quarter.
You see the Indian side there, they did just turn possession over, but they again outletting through their right defender. Just look to see if that is something that they've seen or wanting to target. They've gone 2 from 2 out of their right side as Nitesh Suka stands over the ball at the back for the New Zealand Indians.
Again, we see the aerial ball that was used so well yesterday by the Indian side. Just a cruisy 60 metres on the run. Nitesh Suka puts the Pasifika boys back in their own half, but Indians just sitting back at a half-court press, letting the Pacificas work it out.
Yeah, you can see Kelly and Jerem there, defending on the ball, very vocal in leading their press, commanding his striker group to be on the same page, making sure that they're doing the right things, and they've turned the ball over, so obviously they'll be happy with the first half-court press there.
Absolutely, and we see the Pasifika side just sort of try and run their outletting through the Fraser brothers. Brad, how impressed were you with those two boys yesterday, especially younger brother Aiden was phenomenal at the back for the Pasifika team?
Yeah, absolutely. Aiden Fraser actually picked up player of the tournament yesterday on the men's side of the draw, and was mammoth in all his efforts. You can see him there just playing a little free man role behind his brother Zander, who's playing in the midfield, and between Aiden and Stu Pitu there's also defending on the ball. Very impressive in their defensive efforts yesterday. As you see there, a great touch tackle from Stu, but look for Aiden, wearing number 9 for the New Zealand Pasifika men's side, to really have an influence on the way this team defends.
Yeah, you're right about Aiden, and we're glad he can see today. He took a bit of a nasty blow to the eye yesterday, but obviously has ended up okay, and he can still see out of that eye, which is great news that he's still out in the park today.
Yeah, absolutely. It's had to go off for a few minutes yesterday, tape it up, and get back out there. Lucky he did, because they really do rely on him heavily at the back, and as he surveys his options, he and Stu Pitu very calm at the back.
So we see the Pasifika team as they start to get a bit more possession. They'll start to look to go forward now that they've got possession. The early goal won't faze them here. They're a fast attacking team, so no issues for them.
Yes, we see Adrian Smith there just attempt to throw a lateral ball. He was another goal scorer yesterday, and I was really impressed with the way he goes forward with the ball. Now, he plays his hockey in Christchurch, but is a member of the Fijian national men's side, and has played some international hockey. So he's up the front for the New Zealand Pasifika men's side. Very quick, can hit a hard ball, so if he does get shot on goal, he'll ensure it stays hit. He's wearing number 8 for the Pasifika men's side, leading up as part of the press currently.
So we've seen Najesh Suka just sort of command that defensive unit for the Indians again. He'll like to continue off where he left yesterday. As we see, probably the first aerial ball, bit of a mishap, but it's well here for Brett Menez, who also had another strong game for the Indians yesterday as well, Brad.
Yeah, absolutely. He'll be happy with the way he played, and so will his father. Jude Menez is a bit of a legend, both here in New Zealand hockey with his role with the Vantage Black Sticks and goalkeeping coaching, but also in Indian hockey, where he played over 100 games as a goalkeeper for the New Zealand the Indian national side. So he'll be very pleased with Brett's game yesterday.
Yeah, and you speak of legends, Brad, and it was quite a nice evening held here last night at Colmar with the legends of the three organisations that we had. So we had Brett and Mark Lever from the Pasifika side, we had Ramesh Patel and Jude Menez from the Indian side, and then from the Māori side we had Tinga and Tina Balkake come and join a legends panel on stage, which was quite a nice into day one, wasn't it, Brad?
Yeah, absolutely. I think it's important that we understand that those people that played such influential roles in each of these communities and as in New Zealand hockey, we understand what they've done, and we recognise their pathways they've paved for these younger players to allow things like this to happen. Ramesh, of course, part of the 1976 Olympic side that won the gold medal in Montreal, beating Australia 1-0 in a final, which has never been replicated, which is so impressive to have him here and as part of this, as an idol for these Indian players and for hockey players across New Zealand as a whole. Awesome to have all of our legends up on stage last night.
We see the Pasifika side just sitting back in a bit of a deep half court here, really trying to make this Indian side hit long and hit up the middle.
Yeah, we see there a good couple of physical challenges from number 12 for the Pasifika team, Talavau, who had a fantastic game defensively yesterday. He's a big physical body and will put some pressure on these Indian players. I think he will be one to watch, especially if Nitesh keeps throwing these overhead balls out into the attacking pockets. Just look for him to stamp his authority on that part of the field.
Yeah, you're right there, Brad. Talavau had another fantastic game yesterday. The stall at the back and nothing was going through him, and looks like he's going to continue the same mantra today.
As we see, Aiden Fraser just commanding his team out to a slight positional change there to 3 at the back and trying to overload through Julius. Didn't quite get it to him, but they have turned over in the midfield through Xander Fraser and Sam Hewitt. Xander unable, unfortunately, to win the free hit he was aiming for. And the Indian side, much to what they did yesterday, cleaned up well at the back, won those little 50-50s, and didn't allow a lot to happen inside their defensive circle. As we see Alex Dio just roll the ball out there. It hasn't gone out, so the umpire Dave Oakley blows what he sees there. Alex Dio on the ball, interestingly enough. His club teammate Stu Pitu is on the other side for the Pasifika men's side. They play their club hockey down in Hamilton for the Collegians Club. So interesting little match-up to see. Obviously, they're probably not going to spend any time in the same part of the field with both of them playing in their defensive units. But awesome to see them out here representing their respective cultures on behalf of that club.
See the Pasifika side again through the Fraser brothers. Just try and hold the middle of the field and just really command the Indian defence and have them come out to them. But we see a counter-attack here through Kelly and Jerem. What can he make of it?
Yeah, as a defender, he's probably the one player in this tournament you don't want to see coming at you in a counter-attack situation. He's elusively fast and has incredible stick skill. And if he does get near the circle, it's a dangerous shot as well. As we say Aiden Fraser appeal for a free hit, not coming his way. And just as we speak of Kelly, and he just about rolls one past the goalkeeper, but Stupidu there, calm as ever. Xavier Guy there, just appealing for a straight over the back line penalty corner. Max Beach saying no way. There's not a lot Aiden Fraser can do there when Xavier's opting to shield the ball on the baseline like he did. So it's an interesting idea. It certainly stopped the play. Max Beach happy that it's not a penalty corner. So crisis averted there from the Pasifika team as Xander Fraser breaks his way out.
And we see Xavier Guy be given a green card for his tackle there. Obviously a bit upset with the Fraser sandwich he found himself in, and finds himself sitting down on the sideline for 2 minutes.
Yeah, I'd say probably still a little heated from the call. Often when one goes against you like that, which you're upset about, you can tend to just be a little overzealous in your next play, which probably did catch him on the wrong side of umpire Max Beach there. So the New Zealand Indian side, despite having the 1-0 lead, will spend the next 2 minutes down a player, as it looks like their back unit happy to just take it slow, allow that 2 minutes to run. Nitesh Sukha on the ball there, asking his teammates to clear some space. As we see, probably for the first time, Nitesh Sukha kind of got himself into an awkward position of having to force an attacking pass. It didn't really come off, but they have retained possession up in the attacking corner here.
However, that man again, Aiden Fraser, cleans up the scraps. He was my man of the match for the development game yesterday, and obviously he was well rewarded with the player of the day for the tournament yesterday.
Yes,
Brad?
Absolutely. And we just see here, was Luke Aldred on the ball. He's just arrived for the Pasifika men's side this morning, who played the ball out to Jan and now back with Julius. Luke Aldred, a very talented midfield player who is playing his hockey up in North Harbour this year, originally from the Waikato area. He'll be a good inclusion as this Pasifika men's side look to combat the midfield of Xavier Guy in the Indian team. So watch him out there in number 3. We've got Jacob Suchun rolling the ball into the circle there. And Alex Dio attempts to clean up and does well enough to earn the reprieve.
The Indians are back to their full complement with Guy coming back from the suspension.
Yep, they'll be pleased. Nothing too threatening happened during his time off, as the Pasifika men do earn an intercept and a go-forward ball here. They've got numbers in the circle.
The Indians just looking a wee bit frantic at the back there in the first quarter here, Brad, and something we didn't actually see from them yesterday. They were pretty well composed in that back unit.
Yeah, I think there's a lot to be said of the physical presence of this Pasifika men's side. You know, guys like Jan Peterson, who are big bodies, physical, strong guys, putting some pressure on these defenders as we see the Indian side break out after that little bit of attack. And there is the dreaded double turnover we spoke of yesterday in the Indian men's side's game. There's a good little touched clean up there. Doesn't quite evade all. The Xavier guy will remain in possession for the New Zealand Indians. And unable to find his intended target going forward. The Pasifika team able to find a good little bit of purchase there through Adam Kailea, who was playing in a left midfield type role, finding a bit of space in behind the front layer of the New Zealand Indian side. A little bit of a tough challenge down in the corner there. The Indian men will come away with possession, and again it'll be Nitesh Sukha on the ball.
However, that's picked up on the midfield by Xander Fraser, who receives the ball back again. The Pasifika will really be keen to equalise here in the back half of the first quarter. Coach Lever will be frantically trying to search for the equaliser, especially now when the Indians are a bit rattled.
Yeah, absolutely. They've enjoyed some good possession up in the attacking third. Now, the Indian side have counter-attacked well when they've had their opportunities, but I'm sure Brett will be expecting his team to turn a little bit of this possession into, shots on goal, attacking penalty corners, and circle entries. They're just unable to really get that last ball through, or last pass happening at the moment. Aiden Fraser does look to inject himself goalward. And as we did see often yesterday, even when one or two Indian players do get beaten, there seems to be two or three more of them scramble defending and stepping up for their teammate to ensure that any breach is handled quickly. As this overhead ball that was so successful yesterday.
Oh!
Wow, and we speak about the counter-attack ability of this Indian men's side. That is another incredible goal as we check the replay here. This is built right back from a defensive free hit. And we talked about Nitesh Sukha on the ball. Throws the overhead into the right pocket. There's some space there for the Indian men's player to come out. And on the fly, incredible ball and a one-handed one-touch in over the goalkeeper. Now, Callum Grassick did get a little stick on it. It wasn't enough to save the goal, and it puts the Indian men up 2-0 in that crucial period right before a break that we spoke of yesterday, Regan. They'll be stoked with that.
Yeah, we talk about counter-attack hockey, and we've mentioned it a few times. The overhead from Nitesh Sukha, unbelievable. Just putting the ball into that space, ball across the circle, and I think it was finished off by Ishan Patel, number 3. So what a finish that was from Patel, and really, what a goal, what a time for it to come for the Indian side, leading 2-0 here in the first quarter.
Yeah, absolutely, and it's a tactic that paid off for them yesterday. You often can't see it on the screen, but his strikers stay really narrow, which open up those top right and left pockets for Nitesh to throw the ball into, as we see a similar receive down here, and as we blow for quarter time. It's interesting to see his strikers start up nice and narrow and allow those pockets for Nitesh to throw the ball into, and then they make it a foot race. And when it is hot like this, and the Pasifika men's side do have big bodies, they're winning that foot race out to the ball, and from there they are great at playing that counter-attack, throw the ball forward, make the most of their opportunities hockey. And I think they've had probably the less of attacking possession, but made their chances count.
Yeah, absolutely. You talk about taking your chances, and I think we could probably say the Indians had 2 or 3. We'll say 3, so 2 out of 3 is not a bad strike rate for your first quarter of hockey. Really, again, that scramble D coming out well for the Indian side, and a very well-deserved 2-0 lead here at the quarter break.
Yeah, absolutely. Coach Yogesh he'll be happy with the way they've stuck in defensively and then used their opportunities going forward. It's never easy when you are defending a fair bit of the game, and the other team does have a lot of possession. But when you can break out like that and you have genuine goal scorers in your team, it certainly helps to just alleviate some of that pressure. And despite them not having the bulk of possession for the first quarter, they'll be very happy with the 2-0 lead they hold.
Yeah, so what do you think the message from Brett Lever is at quarter time here for his lads?
I think they just need to be a little more connected when they move through into the front three. I think they defensively are getting the ball outletted pretty well. They are finding their midfield, and you see guys like Jake Suchun and Xander Fraser getting possession. It's just making sure that it connects on the next layer forward, and it seems to be breaking down a little bit for them when they have that possession. I spoke about it just before the second goal, that they want to turn some of that possession into real opportunities. So I think he'll want guys like Jan Peterson up front, Sam Hewitt, Adam Kailea, just to expect a little bit more high quality out of what they do up the front of the field. And as we kick off the second quarter, false start, unfortunately. The Pasifika boys too eager to get into things. It's a great sign, I'm sure, for Coach Brett Lever, but we will have a reset here. The Pasifika men will start the second quarter with the ball through Xander Fraser, who I did just speak of earlier. And it's just that final pass there, well contested by the New Zealand Indian men's side, and a 50-50 ball thrown there through from Xander Fraser. I expect Brett Lever would just be asking them to make sure that's a higher percentage pass if they're going to be entering the circle to create a genuine opportunity, as they do turn the ball over high up the field. Jan Peterson surveying a great option into the circle there. As we see, look like Nitesh Sukha down there, very calm defensively. You see he got his stick a long way away from his feet to eliminate the opportunity of a cheap foul there, and just doing enough to stop that attack on the baseline.
So we see the Pasifika side just sort of holding possession here to start the second quarter. The Indians hadn't had the ball here, so if the Pasifika guys can keep this possession up and really look to just be patient with that attacking flow, then things will come for them, I feel. Yeah,
they've earned themselves a long corner here. They have had the first couple of minutes up the right end of the field. But this Indian defence, they seem to be well drilled, and even when there are potential breaches like with Julius Talavau down the baseline there, they don't foul, and they do a really good job of ensuring that they're calm around the edge of their circle. They don't panic, they don't rush in on guys like Julius there, and they do enough to win the free hit again as Nitesh Sukha surveys these top corner pockets. He opts for the one layer, unable to be taken down cleanly, but another little option and weapon that Nitesh has in his bag. So we see Xander Fraser just throw a nice transfer ball across to Stupidu. Wants for them to look at the other side of the field. That's going to be important that this Pasifika men's side are able to make the Indian side work defensively here, as Jake Suchun does get his entry. It does force a save from the goalkeeper there, but again the Indian side managed to work things out. It is a good opportunity created there down on the baseline from Jacob Suchun for the Pasifika men's side, but the Indians do enough again to earn a reprieve there, as again Nitesh Sukha on the ball. Rolls the ball across the other side through Alex Dio, and they opt for down the line option. That is cut out by Zander, but they can't win possession back, so the Indian side will keep the sideline hit.
It's interesting, Brad. We talk about the importance that the two central defenders have had for both teams, and if we look yesterday at their two games, both Aiden Fraser and Natsuka were the two best players on the field, so really shows the importance of having that well-oiled machine at the back, doesn't it?
Yeah, absolutely. I think the one difference here, and certainly in the first quarter today, is how much work Nitesh's other defenders do to help his scramble defence. You know, we talked about it being a hot day today. This New Zealand Indian side do look fit. They do look fast. That's a great ball through into the circle from Aiden Fraser. And they've found the goal that they needed. End-on vision was a fantastic ball from Aiden Fraser through to, it looked like Zach Bunamasi up the front there for the New Zealand Pasifika team as we see the replay from the long corner. Happy to play the ball out to Aiden, and as we see the vision here, the pass just opened up, and sometimes all you need to do is get the ball going goalward. You know, you don't have to wind up and smash it. You don't have to hit the roof. You just have to get things going goalward, and Brett Lever will be stoked with, like we talked about, turning possession into genuine opportunities, and that one there is well taken by Zach and the Pasifika men back in this arm wrestle.
Yeah, you're right about getting that goalwards. I think that was almost trying to be a wee slip pass for a deflection, but hey, Bunamasi, he's on the board. 2-1. We've got a game on our hands.
Yeah, really important that the Pasifika men's side were able to put some pressure back on in that first 5 minutes. Certainly being down 2-0 in the first quarter, they needed to. Something you may not see a lot of on the camera is the Pasifika men's side's ability to transfer from 4 at the back, with Aiden Fraser and Stuart Pitu both playing as centrals, to 3 at the back and either rolling forward their right or left defender. And Zach Bunamasi there was actually playing at left defender when he scored the goal. So they'd pushed all the way around, overloaded the left-hand side, and he found himself in a left half's dream inside the circle with the goal in front of him. Now, many a left half will know you often rue that opportunity and you muck it up, and he didn't. It may not have been his intended shot, but like I said, you get something going goalward and everything else happens from there as they have another opportunity just mistrapped up the front by Sam Hewitt. There's a great pass through from Falstead there at number 7 for the Pasifika men's side. Unfortunately, just missed by Sammy Hewitt, but they are putting some pressure on this Indian side as Nitesh looks to relieve again through that overhead ball, allow his team to take a breath, survey what's happening from this Pasifika side and just play at the other end.
I think you're right about the ability of this Pasifika team to adapt, and that just shows for all the young and up-and-comers out there is actually you just need to fill a role. Bunamasi was actually a left half there, but he found himself in a striking position, and he filled the role that was required for his team and ultimately gets the treats.
Yeah, as you see him again now that they've actually overloaded both wing halves, and Zander Fraser's come out to play in the back 3, so Bunamasi had gone right up the field as Stu Pitu carried forward, and then Zander Fraser came out to fill a right half role while they overloaded both wing halves. So it's something I'm sure Brett Lever has spoken to these guys about, is being free-flowing, being adaptable and filling roles as opposed to being stuck in the position you start on the team sheet. So very impressive. That is Bunamasi again there with the turnover in the midfield. He finds Zander Fraser attacking down the right-hand side, and he'll earn a free hit. Xavier Guy still not impressed with the officiating, and he is going to go for another seat. That one is yellow from David Oakley, and unfortunately Xavier just a little frustrated at a couple of calls. We understand the passion, and he is playing for his culture, but we do have to ensure that we've got a free-flowing and a game happening that we can be proud of. So he will take a seat, unfortunately for the Indian side, as they remain under pressure midway through the second quarter.
I think that might have been a green, but we'll just double check to see when he comes back on here. Guy, of course, hockey is a unique sport where you can have the same colour card more than once. It's not like football where 2 yellows equals a red. It's not our game, so I think he's got a second green there, obviously for a different infringement. A bit of frustration from a Guy. And we'll see the Indians just sort of try to calm things down and really look to control the the back and their group as they did yesterday.
Yeah, and at the same time, I think you'll see the Pasifika side really try and turn on a little bit of heat to find that equaliser. As you see a turnover again there through Jacob Suchun, finds Xander Fraser on the overlap. Alex Dio does enough just to make sure his feet are outside the circle. It's a smart hockey play there, but Jake Suchun takes the hit quickly. Unfortunately called dangerous, though. It did force a save. It's the way the whistle's been blown. The Pasifika men, I think, will still keep this heat on. Tesh will want to calm his troops down. Maybe just a little over keen there to get involved and try and win possession. But the Indian men break forward through Kelly and Jerem. And that's a great clean-up tackle there from Stu Pitu. He's been everywhere on the field today as he looks to break forward with the attacking possession. The Indian team able to break it up, but not able to win the ball back, as the Pasifika men's side will have an attacking long corner through Stu Pitu. That is goal scorer Buenamasi, and Aidan Fraser was ball at the back.
Yeah, we talk about how the Indians are just looking a bit frantic here, but full credit to the Pasifika guys who are really bringing the heat in this quarter. Obviously, Brett Lever, something in the waters at quarter time there, Brad.
Yeah, and you're right about the card there, Egan. Xavier Guy has come back on. I'll go to Specsavers and get my eyes checked. It's a long way away from us here, me calling it a yellow, but Xavier Guy is back on. He's just had 2 greens, so they are back to the full complement, and he'll be really hoping to just calm this Indian side down a little bit as they do win a free hit in the midfield and start coming forward. A fantastic piece of skill there as he works his way into the circle, the New Zealand Indian player, and does earn the penalty corner, rolling the ball onto the foot of Stu Pitu, who just wasn't able to get outside the circle. As we see the replay, effortless overhead ball. Buenamasi just not giving the Indian men's player the 5 yards required there, and as he breaks through, you'll see an exceptional bit of stick skill through both of these 2 players before rolling it onto the footwork there of Stu Pitu.
Yeah, Shay is a local lad out here at Southern Districts. Great bit of skill and earns his team an opportunity at goal here with the penalty corner.
So we saw both of these 2 net goals yesterday from the set piece. We've got Xavier at bracket 2 and Natesh at bracket 1. Goes to Natesh. And is saved well by Callum Grassick, who dives away to his right, and there's a counter-attack opportunity. They've taken it quickly here through Adrian Smith, finds Sam Hewitt on the baseline for Pasifika men's, and Alex Dio does fantastically well there to get his feet out of the way, see the ball in front of him, and get the ball out of the circle for the New Zealand Indian side. But the Pasifika men keep possession. They scored from this similar situation last time, playing the ball back out of their attacking long corner. As we see Stu Pitu just look to breach forward and assess what's happening in front of him. And that's Luke Aldred on the ball, who I spoke about a little earlier, unable to slip the ball through to his teammate. As the Indian side will look to just calm things down here, win the free hit or get an exit through Xavier Guy. And the Pasifika men wanting to keep applying this pressure they've built up in the second quarter. We may want to see that one again because the Pasifika men's team like it. Sammy Hewitt likes it. David Oakley does not. Now I know Sammy Hewitt and I can't say it's not like him to celebrate a goal he may or may not have touched, but I would love to see that one again, because if it is, that's a cracking entry pass from Jacob Suchun. It did find the back of the goal, but David Oakley, closer certainly than we are, has ruled no touch from the Pasifika men's side, so the game does stay at 2-1.
Yeah, I think he's trying to pull the wool over his eyes there, because we see the Pasifika men settle back into their work straight away. They might have a few more things to say if there was a touch, but they might have another chance here again as we find ourselves on the left-hand flank again.
Yeah, that's Jake Suchun with a nice little bit of skill, but Nitesh Suka, look, he's swung hard, but probably got all ball there as it has found the sideline, and I think part shocked as well as impressed there by Nitesh's ability not to foul despite swinging pretty hard in his defensive circle.
Yeah, we'll go for the word impressed there. It's pretty well done there from Nitesh Suka to not foul and give his team an opportunity to attack up the other end now through Shea Iswa.
Here we go. There's Iswa, and he's got Kelly and Jerem, who he's found. And finds the back of the net. That is Kelly and Jerem magic. Shea Iswa originally got the turnover, broke forward, and linked up with Kelly and Jerem there. Stu Pitu on the 2-on-1, unable to defend as we just see the replay. Great touch tackle there from Shea, and he breaks in field, which allows Kelly and Jerem to find some space. This is a beautiful little fake drag around Grassick, and nothing much you can do there to stop Kelly and Jerem finding the third goal for the Indian men's side. Cracking goal, Regan.
Yeah, beautiful goal as we saw Kelly and just sort of stay calm in the circle. Sometimes strikers can get themselves a bit excited, a bit of goal line fever, but he took the time to get the drag underway and slam home the finish. But as we say that, the Pasifika men just gone up the other end and scored. Got themselves a penalty corner, but they might score here. And as we say, Brad, we talked about coach killers yesterday. The first 2 minutes after a goal is scored are the most important in any part of the game.
Yeah, absolutely. The as happy as the Indian men's side will have been with that goal, if they then turn around and certainly potentially concede a goal here, all that great work from Iswa and Kelly and Jerem will be undone. Oh my God.
What a great piece of razzle-dazzle hockey we see there as we saw the original shot from Luke Aldred saved off the line by that man again, Nitesh Suka. What can't the man do? And the Indians survive for the moment.
Yeah, look, not quite the penalty corner the Pasifika men's side would have been wanting. Luke Aldred, a very good penalty corner drag flicker, as they do earn themselves another one here. On that last penalty corner, he opted for the tomahawk shot, and it was a very good shot going for the bottom right corner. But again, like we mentioned, Nitesh Suka, who may be ready to take Martin Guptill's side in the Black Caps cricket team, just played the ball fantastically well away from goal, and they did pick up an extra save after that on another shot, as they protected their goal as we lead into the halftime break here. The Pasifika men's side will have another penalty corner. I spoke about the flicking exploits of Luke Aldred, who has moved himself out to the second bracket. Interestingly enough, goal scorer from yesterday, Aiden Fraser, not up there. And that one's saved well by the Indian goalkeeper. Second chance, saved on the line by Nitesh. And another one.
Carbon copy. Ball going goalwards, beaten the keeper twice, and he saved it twice. That man's hand-eye is fantastic.
Yeah, there's not a lot that defensively Nitesh isn't doing for the side. He is an absolute rock back there as he just alleviates some of that pressure by throwing long out of the back. Pasifika men's side unable to bring it down, but that will bring us to the end of the second quarter. And for any of you folks watching at home through Sky Sport Next or on the FIH app, and you want to see some defensive, some wowzers, check out the last couple of quarters' work from Nitesh Suka. Not often do our defenders get the raps, but he has been incredible in front of goal today.
Yeah, completely agree there, Brad. Throw it in the coaching manual. What can't that man do? Has his team lead 3-1 here at half time as we just watched the replay here of the first half highlights.
Yeah, we can just see this is the tackle where they do get a couple of shots here, and it doesn't quite come off on the first opportunity, but the Indian side able to retain possession. Now, we see this a lot in the first half as Nitesh Suka rolling onto the ball at the back, just having a look at his options and finding some really good space going forward. This is one of the goals here with a fantastic touch finished up by Ishan Patel. That put the Indian side ahead 2-1.
But as the Indians scored their second, the Pasifika guys were here to play, so we see through their captain, Jan Peterson, who's been a stalwart all week, finds Bunamasi on the baseline, sort of tracking him behind his defenders, finishes off the ball nicely for a 2-1 scoreline at this stage.
This is a shot from Jacob Suchun, judged as dangerous by David Oakley there. And as he has again, Nitesh, brilliant overhead ball. Bunamasi not given the 5 yards required, and Iswar breaks forward, linking up with Kelly and Jerem here.
This might be the one just before where Iswar weaves his magic through the defence, earns himself the penalty corner. Of course, that was saved, and we saw the no touch there also of David Oakley, the ball through. Pasifika guys thought they may have got something, but adjudged not to have scored a goal there. Now this is the magic moment where Iswar turns the ball over. As we see Kalen Jerem come out of screen on the right hand side, really changes his lead to really get him behind the defensive unit. And the cool, calm, collective finish to go around the goalkeeper and slam the ball home, far corner.
Yeah, this is some of the defensive work from Nitesh Sukha here, as the Pasifika men got themselves a couple of attacking penalty corners late in the quarter. This is the shot from Luke Aldred, which is well saved. Missed there, unfortunately, by the Pasifika men, but Jan Peterson does get himself another shot, which is stick saved again, and the Indian side do work their way out, and on the final penalty corner of the game here to the Pasifika men's side. Like I said, any defenders at home, just take a look at Nitesh Sukha's work on the back post. First save, great save by the goalkeeper. Second shot cleaned up by Sukha, and the third contested.
Those two saves on the line are world class. The first one especially, a bouncing ball with the face mask on where your vision is obstructed, Brad, just to have the calmness to trap the ball and just clear it out rather than panicking and going too hard at the ball.
Yeah, absolutely. It takes a lot of skill to be able to execute that, not only once but twice. You know, when your team's under a fair bit of pressure. The Pasifika team were coming pretty strong at them at that period of the game, trying to bring the game back to level. And for Nitesh, who has been everywhere defensively, to still have the poise and the ability to clean up in front of the goal like that, like you say, it is world class, and he's an impressive player who's having a big game out here.
Of course, applies his trade for the ABC club in the North Shore, and obviously having a fantastic season out there for the start of the intercity competition here in Tamaki Makaurau as well. So just carrying on his work as he has his Indian side leading 3-1 here at half-time at the inaugural New Zealand Heritage Hockey Tournament, which is fantastic to see, Brad. Day one completed, now we're into day two. Such an amazing event to be around, and great to see the crowds have returned here again. We are at obviously a long weekend here in New Zealand, Easter weekend. Lots of people heading away, but it's so good to see so many people sticking around and coming to watch some fantastic hockey.
Yeah, absolutely. We did see that yesterday. We had 3 penalty shootouts from our 4 games yesterday, so some tight hockey, some great stuff to watch, and it will continue to bring crowds out. Again, if you are in Auckland over this Easter weekend, get on down to Colmar at Papatotoi and join us in this celebration of our cultures of hockey. And we've got 2 more days of this, with finals day being on Easter Monday. We begin the third quarter here. The New Zealand Indians will start play with Kelly and Jerem on the ball. The score here 3-1 to the New Zealand Indians. Our goal scorers Kelly and Jerem and Ishan Patel, and the single goal to Zach Buenamasi from the New Zealand Pasifika side, as the Indian men get started quick here. Physical tackle. We spoke about that from Pasifika, but Kelly and Jerem works hard, and he has worked the ball back and won the free hit for his side.
Yeah, I don't think, Brad, the Pasifika guys will be panicking just yet. Obviously, we saw they started that second quarter pretty strong. They'll want to replicate that out here and just hit the start of the second, the new quarter out firing, and really look to get them behind these Indian defensive unit and try and get themselves back in this game.
Yeah, absolutely. Their coach, Brett Lever, who was an international defender himself, won't be one to panic he will just want them to get through their gameplay, stick to their processes. We see Luke Aldred with an overlap pass here from Jan Peterson. Finds the foot, a tidy little bit of skill. We talked about Luke Aldred arriving this morning for the Pasifika men's side, and he's putting an influence on the game already, as they will have a penalty corner here early in the third quarter. Be interesting to see what options, as we do have Aidan Fraser on the field, and he has come up into the huddle. We do have Luke Aldred, who is a flick option.
Looks like Fraser's going to inject the ball here. Got Aldridge on bracket 1.
Yeah, the other flick option here for the Pasifika men's side is Adam Kailea, who came up through some New Zealand age group hockey, known as a drag flicker. So they do have 2 genuine options here.
As we hear Luke Aldridge say, sorry for his first touch, but hey, those are the ones we talked about yesterday, the ones that don't go to script, and we see on the replay here as the drag just becomes a little bit left, but Luke, cool, calm, collected, slams it on reverse, home for a 3-2 scoreline.
Yeah, it's a great finish from a bit of a penalty corner breakdown now. Obviously wanting the flick, and like you mentioned, there was a very vocal sorry, as it didn't quite go right at the top, but when you've got the skill set to be able to put it onto your reverse like that and keep the ball low, which you do have to in the attacking corner, as we see the Indian side come forward and earn themselves a penalty corner. Yeah, the finish from Luke Aldred, very good. Nitesh Sukkar, who did clean up the last couple, unable to pick that one up, but the Indian men will have a chance to strike straight back, and they were very clinical from their set piece yesterday. With the exploits of Nitesh Sukkar and Xavier Guy, both world-class flickers in their bracket, they will want to answer back immediately.
Yeah, we've talked about just holding it at the back when we score goals. We saw the Indians score a goal and concede a corner straight off the head off, and now the Pacific guys have done the same thing. So we'll see what happens here, as we have Nitesh Sukkar on bracket 1 and Guy on bracket 2. So we see it come to Guy this time. A wee bit of a mistrap again, but well out there by the Pacific guys.
Yeah, if they can get a penalty corner, if they can get the breakout here, remember Nitesh Sukkar is part of the attacking bracket, so it is a long way for him to get back. Jan Peterson just unable to get the ball across the front of the goal, hits the side of the goal on the near side, unable to link up with Jake Suchun, who had worked his way forward. And interestingly, after I said it's a long way for Nitesh to get back, was very much in the picture there to contest. So, like I said, doing work all the way up and down the field is Nitesh. So the penalty corner did break down for them a little. Again, similar to the Pasifika team. I don't think it came out exactly where they wanted it. Wasn't the clean trap that they were after, and the Pasifika team were able to counter. But just that last pass from Jan Peterson across the goal, unable to find its intended target.
As we said, the Indians look to just settle things down again through Menez, who launches out Shea Iswar. And that's well saved there by the goalkeeper.
Yeah, Callum Grassick did well there to get down and clean that up. Unfortunately, it did come up off his pads and into a dangerous position. So they will get the penalty corner, and hopefully for Coach Yogesh Hari, they do execute this one a little better. Because we, like I said, we saw the exploits of Nitesh and of Xavier yesterday at set piece time, and they are dangerous if they can get it clean at the top.
As we see that same 2 combination on the bracket, we've got Guy on bracket 1. Might see a bit of a German here. Not quite, as we have another penalty corner. It's taken the first runner. Might be Kailea that's taken that one.
Looks like it may be Zain Ayuk, who did get out first for the Pasifika men's side. He's a big guy, and he did get out quick, as Xavier Guy did look to flick off the first bracket, and he has run it down. He's soldiered on, he's jumped back in, so let's see if he still gets out as quick on this one.
So we see again the switch at the top. We find Sukkar this time flicking inside out, puts it in that right hand pocket. It's a great flick, picked up on the left-hand side of him, and we have a 4-2 lead to the Indians.
Yeah, as we see the replay here, Nitesh just rolls over to the first bracket and gets it even narrower than he would have liked, and it's a tough flick to keep the strength there and open up to your right-hand side to finish a flick, but I think you could also see there that their first runner just didn't get out as quick as I think he would have liked to, and maybe hampered by the ball on the leg from the first flick, but it opens up the opportunity for Nitesh, and Nitesh doesn't miss, so he does put them back up 4-2. The Pasifika men will be disappointed after getting their way back with the last penalty corner. But it is 4-2. We do have 10 minutes left in the third. There's still plenty of hockey to play as the Indian side just look to go forward. Not able to link up with Jerem. New Zealand men happy to play out in a slightly ahead of half court. They've got strikers on the line and asking questions of this Pasifika men's wing halves. But Buenamasi's answered that question fantastically well, as they find Xander Fraser, who just finds the stick spinning in his hands a little bit, off balance and not the clean purchase he would have liked. But it was well built up through Buenamasi was impressive on his little elimination from left half, and he found Jan and Xander in the midfield as the Pasifika team look to keep the heat on. They will not die wondering here and will throw as much as they can as Jake Suchun gets the baseline entry. Has found Jan Pedersen in the circle and does enough to earn his team a penalty corner. Now, it looks like he picked the ball up, a little bit of 3D skill, and just the sticks in there was enough for Max Beach to say, infringement, penalty corner. As we see the replay here, Xander Fraser takes the ball down well, finds Adrian Smith, who finds Jake Suchun on the baseline, and a crafty little left foot pass here does fall to Peterson, who, like I said, just does enough to ask questions of that defence, and Max Beach happy to award the penalty corner.
Yeah, I think the work of Suchun there just to lead out to the baseline and really look to open up this circle for obviously Peterson to try and weave his magic, and he's earned themselves a penalty corner. So we see the ball injected to Fraser on bracket 1.
Great save there by Bhavesh. Second shot and save.
It's a great second save there from the goalkeeper as well, Bana. So
yeah, Bhavesh has done really well there. He's saved the first flick low to his right. That was Aiden Fraser's flick, and gets himself back up on his feet to save the second shot from Sam Hewitt, which was on target as well. Unfortunately, it just fell onto the legs of one of his defenders, which will give the Pasifika team another opportunity here as they set up still with Aiden Fraser at 1 and Luke Aldred the goal scorer at 2.
wow, what a goal that is. Suchun on the far post, and Brad, we've seen a couple today. Just the breakdown penalty corners, they seem to be the order of the day.
Yeah, absolutely. As we just look on the replay here, a little bit of a miscommunication. I think they were actually trying to go to the second bracket through Adrian Smith, as you see Luke Aldred look to line up, and I think Jan Pedersen just went the safe option of making sure it didn't get back to the 25-yard line, but a nice little pass finds Suchun back on the post, and it's enough to get them back into this arm wrestle. We've gone back and forth. The Indians always having the slight ahead margin, but we find ourselves at 4-3 with a nice little goal finish there by Suchun. Now, you're right, they have had 2 penalty corners scored, probably not how they were intended to be written up, and it's good, and it's probably typical of a tournament like this, where we are expecting these guys to play with the flair they have, play eyes up hockey, maybe a little less structured than your typical hockey tournament, which is what brings the exciting goal scoring opportunities that we've seen already in this game with 7 goals, and we're only halfway through the third quarter. But I like the guys' ability just to play what's in front of them. Adrian Smith made a great decision there to, instead of just firing one at goal and hoping, is to open up the rest of the circle. And he saw he had 2 guys there in other spots in the circle, perhaps better than he was, and just made sure they took the most of that opportunity.
As we see that man, Aiden Fraser, look to let loose big brother Xander. However, it's just gone across the baseline there for a 16-yard hit. But the Pasifika men will be happy this time. They've scored the goal in that next 2 minutes. They've actually continued to stay firing. So that's key, I think, for the Pasifika side, is just to stay on. you might hear that come through the mics with the pressing. Stay on, so they've got them under pressure with the high press, so they'll really look to utilise their, what would say, dominance here in the third quarter almost. Brad?
Yeah, the Pasifika team have come out really well. It's no surprise that being down on the scoreboard will have I'm sure evoked a strong conversation and team talk from Coach Brett Lever, as Jake Suchun just doesn't quite get the ball on the end of his stick there at the edge of the circle. Yeah, Coach Brett Lever for the Pasifika men's side, won't be one at halftime when they're down to just say the soft words. He will be in there strong, expecting better of them, and it looks to have paid off as they've come out in this third quarter and really been aggressive. They've played well, and they've earned their way back into this game. Yes, we see Jan Pedersen there just throw one into the circle, maybe a little too hard for his teammates to trap. They were not as far away as maybe he thought, and they're just unable to come onto the end of it.
Another great press there from the Pasifika men. Xander stepping across, intercepting at the right time. But again, Suka, that man we've talked about all day.
Yeah, I've been really impressed by this, certainly in this third quarter, the way the press is working for the Pasifika men's side. Quite often they do find their free man in a good position, whether that's Xander or Aiden, to just come and mop up, in effect, an intercept or a tackle there, as you saw Xander on the last one. As we see vision of it from the full screen here, you see the New Zealand Indian side, again, just content to play that half-court press. Expect great things out of the wing halves from the Pasifika men's side. I don't think either team quite know which who's going to have the free hit here. Team Pink, Max Beach and David Oakley just have a quick chat on the mics to see what they saw. It will be ball to the Indian side, which from here did look like the right call. I do think it did go into the legs of Buena Masi there as he tried to get through the tackle from the New Zealand Indian player. Tough to see from David Oakley there, who is of course blinded by the player carrying the ball, but glad Team in Pink can get the right outcome just by having a quick conversation and getting the right call.
Yeah, I think you're right there, Brad. So we might see you with the whistle out there in the next couple of games, although you did just use the word umpire and blinded, so we'll wait and see how that one goes.
Yeah, look, it wouldn't be the first time I've used umpire and blind in the same sentence. It does happen sometimes, and probably more than I'd like to admit that I've said those two words together, but they're doing a great job out here, and like I said, that they can have a little conversation on the headsets to get the right call. Then it's a good thing that's happening. So the Indian men's side just putting a little bit of pressure on the Pacific men's circle, which hasn't happened a lot this quarter. They earn themselves a long corner. We'll just see as we go into the last 2.5 to 3 minutes of this match if they can push themselves a little further ahead on the scoreboard than just the single goal.
Yeah, I think we've got ourselves a fantastic finish to this game. I think there's still a couple more goals in this game, Brad, and the way that these two teams are attacking today, I think we're bound to see that one.
Yeah, absolutely. I think this game, after their results yesterday, both being first-round winners, was always going to be an exciting one and a hard one to pick. You know, some of the guys I spoke to from both camps really finding it difficult to separate the two sides, and that's played out exactly as we have on the match at the moment, with just the one goal separating them, but a fantastic bit of goal scoring from either side. And I think you're right, Regan. We've got plenty more in this game today.
Yeah, of course, on the men's draw yesterday, the Indian, actually in the women's as well, the Indian men were the only team to get an outright win, and of course outright wins comes with the wonderful 4 points confirmed with the instead of the shootout win, which is only 2. So an outright win here for the Indians today will go a long way for setting them up well for Monday afternoon, I feel, Brad. But we're not done yet with the Fraser brothers and the rest of the Pasifika team looking to really stamp the authority in this game.
And here they come. That is Xander with a tidy bit of stick work. And unfortunately, it looked like their Devan Parsot just did make the first touch and unfortunately rolled it onto his own foot there in attempting to clear the ball. Xander Fraser happy with his work on the baseline there, but the Indian may be disappointed there in his inability to get that under control completely, but it does give the Pasifika men's side the penalty corner. There's a minute to go in the third quarter and they are down by 1, so it's looked in the last 2 times, the ones that they muck up, they seem to score, so let's see if third time lucky as Jake Suchun comes down to pull the ball out for the Pasifika men's side. Again, Aldred at bracket 1 and Fraser at 2. So it did go to first bracket at Aldred, and they did get it clean, and he did get his flick away, but a very good save there from Bhavesh Bana in goal for the Indian men's side. And after a lot of debate in front of referee Max Beach, who did again refer to his partner in crime there, David Oakley, they have got to the decision of it did hit the Pasifika men's foot on the exit play there, as Xavier Guy looks to come forward. Earning a free hit, they probably will just work the clock down here for the last couple of seconds, and that'll take us into the third quarter break. The score's still 4-3 to the New Zealand Indian side. Goals, 2 of them to Kalyan Jerem, 1 to Nitesh Sukha and 1 to Ishan Patel, 1 for Zachary Bunimasi, 1 to Jacob Suchun and 1 to Luke Aldred as we look at the highlights from that quarter.
So we see Nitesh Sukha pick the flick up just outside the line of the left-hand post, and actually to flick that across his body to that right post is a great skill and gave his team an extra goal there. As we see Xander Fraser fire off a running shot there, but nothing could be done with that one. And we see again through Fraser. This was just after that shot. He'd done all the hard yards to get back in the press and find Suchun on the baseline, who does all the hard yards to really open up that space, and Peterson wins themselves the corner that leads to the the next goal, which we see Suchun on the baseline dragging the ball in. Just a wee bit of a miscommunication at the top, but it falls nicely, and we find another corner.
Yeah, this is the corner goal here. Look at the work of Adrian Smith. He's trapping on the second bracket, and after the mishap through he and Jan at the top here, just puts a crafty little pass back across the goal that finds Jacob Suchun. Like I mentioned as it happened, you've got to be calm in that situation. He's done exceptionally well. Now, the Pasifika men's side did get another opportunity late in the game here, as we see on the replay, through a penalty corner. It did fall to the first bracket for Aldred, saved by Bana, and like I said, on that exit just did hit the leg of Jake Suchun.
And as we've done all day, I think we've got the right call there, so well done to the umpires getting that one right.
Yeah, absolutely. It's awesome the technology we have in the umpires now, who are able to be mic'd up and with headsets on, and you know, when you can't see from one end, somebody may be able to see from the other end. So being able to have those communication tools, just make sure that we get the call right, which is at the end of the day, all we ask is that they try and get the best call or the right call as often as possible, and they're doing an excellent job out there.
See the Indians sort of straight into their work here in the fourth quarter. Guy on the ball, who'd like to really control the midfield, uses his experience, obviously played for the national team, the Vantage Black Sticks, so look to see him on the ball a lot more this quarter. But for some reason, as we've talked about, Brad, I don't think the Pasifika team are done.
No, definitely not. I think this game's going to go right down to the last moments, and we've still got almost 17 minutes of an exciting game here. The first game of day 2 of the New Zealand Heritage Hockey Tournament. And the Indian side just putting a little bit of pressure on. Falstead takes the intercept. He breaks out. He's got Suchun ahead of him. Sammy Hewitt putting in some hard work off the screen, just doesn't quite get there in time. Sammy Hewitt, of course, eligible to play for both the New Zealand Māori and the New Zealand Pasifika side. So awesome to see him out here representing his Cook Island heritage. As the Pasifika will retain possession, has been judged a long corner.
Sounds like his coach Brett Lever last night at the Legends Evening talked about his highlights of his career was playing for the in the national Māori tournaments when he's a Fijian born. But as we see, bit of an interesting call here. I think it might have just been outside.
All right, really, it's interesting to see here is how Max and David do contain, like I talked about, the passion and pride of these guys playing for their culture and for their, their respective associations. It is going to get heated here. This game is tight. It is close. There's been swings both ways, and they're doing a great job so far. But don't expect that sort of pride and passion to stop here, because as both these teams really look to push for either the equaliser or the go-ahead, as Xander Fraser does break into the attacking circle. Eyes up, Brett Menezes. Indian side do enough to clear it momentarily, but Buenamasi will keep possession for the Pasifika men.
Once again, Xander finds himself on the ball. Bit of stick skill, but can't quite get through.
Yeah, as we saw yesterday, a lot of the Indian players do a lot of work to get numbers around the ball. So even when somebody like Xander Fraser there has the first little bit of stick skill and breaks through the first couple, there seems to be another one there to help. And I just spoke about him. Sam Hewitt found himself in a fantastic spot. The ball did come to him pretty quickly and unable to get his stick there, but there's certainly some enterprising play here, and Coach Brett Lever will be pleased with what he sees in the attempt from his team early in this fourth quarter. Does the Indian side just do enough to earn themselves a free hit? Nitesh Sukha, cool and calm, will roll down and get the ball. They've got a bit of space on the opposite side of the field if they can find it through Menezes and Alex Dio here. But they do opt to go across the field to Jerem. He's not quite going to be able to keep that ball in the field of play there in front of umpire David Oakley. So Xander Fraser will bring the ball forward. He's got Sam Hewitt in front of him.
See a long corner here. The Pacific guys are really throwing a lot at the Indian defence right now.
Yeah. All it's going to take is one of these to fall the right way or one of them to stick, and it'll be very much an opportunity as Alex Dio does try and work out, and Xavier Guy just gets himself a free hit, slow things down.
So just see the time stop there. Captain Kalian Jerem was just down in the foreground there. Hopefully nothing too serious, maybe a bit of cramp. He did just put in a massive sprint, so maybe the calves are cramping up a wee bit.
Yeah, and those are some big calves on Kalian Jerem. No surprises there that he's pulled up with some cramp. He'll just pull himself off the field and probably get some electrolytes in pretty quickly so he can get back out here and help his team finish off this quarter strong. But the Pasifika men just with possession at the back with Aiden Fraser. He's happy for Stu Piru to look forward and find Jake Suchun.
It's a great ball there from Suchun. Really deceptively sold his defender up the river and unfortunately not trapped on the baseline, but Pasifika men are asking all the questions they need to right now.
Yeah, you see Adam Kailea very active in the press at the moment, trying to throw Nitesh off his work. That's Opeti Tuimana also up in the press as Adam Kailea does manage to keep the ball in play and win the turnover through Felsted. That is Opeti Tuimana.
So again, well defended, scrambled deep, and the Indians really proving its worth so far here in the fourth. Although we've got ourselves a penalty corner.
Yeah, that's some fantastic work there between Adam Kailea and Opeti Tuimana, who just relentless in their continuation to make sure that they kept the possession. They didn't allow the Indian side to get out. They kept winning the possession back, and they finally found the free hit they were looking for, which does give the Pasifika men a penalty corner here. The score is 4-3, so they are down 1. It will be Jake Suchun to pull the ball out. Again, we talked about Aiden Fraser, who has been on the bracket for the day. He's set up there at the top, as well as Falstead. I expect we will see it go to the first bracket to Fraser.
Brilliant save.
Another fantastic save from Bhavesh Bana. He has been extremely good up on those high saves, and he saves another one from Aiden Fraser, and it does fall to Jake Suchun, but he's unable to bring it down under control without it hitting his foot. So the Indian side do get an out as Xander Fraser again wins possession going forward for the Pasifika men's side, and he links up with Jan Peterson. The momentum does just hold there for a second, but Aiden Fraser commands the ball in the middle of the park. And he finds Julius out on the right side of the field. It's a great little touch tackle there from the Indian men's defender, Keenan Bicker. But the Pasifika men will keep possession. Stupid with the ball at the back.
Unfortunately, an unforced error from the Nitesh Sukha. Probably the first time we've said that this tournament, Brad. And
yeah, it was the little bit of skip that Zain Ayuk was able to put on that entry ball there that just made it difficult for Nitesh to keep under control, and it did go up into the body of a couple of players there. So the Pasifika men will get themselves another penalty corner. So far, the Indian men have defended these well. It will be interesting to see as it looks like we've got Kailea on the first bracket and Fraser on the second bracket. So Jake Suchun to pull the ball out. With 8 minutes to go here, the Pasifika men will really want to get this equaliser.
Again, another great save.
Yeah, it wasn't quite as tidy as I'd like at the top. I think Jan Peterson did just have to shift to pick up the trap, and it did roll a little away from Kailea, who did get a quality flick off despite that. But another save by Bhavesh Bana, and who else but Nitesh Sukha on that left post to clear the ball away from danger. The Pasifika men still with possession. Indian men weathering a bit of a storm here, but they're doing it well. And their defensive efforts have been good as Jake Suchun does find the circle entry. Bhavesh Bana, the goalkeeper, in a great spot there to just clean up the ball across from Jake Suchun. And we did see Fetu Nokisi there just try and dive in and make it interesting, get himself a touch, but pretty regulation for Bana in the goal. As we do find Fetu Nokisi here with ball going at the circle. Fortunate for the Indian side that there wasn't a Pacific men's player, on the back side of the circle there, because the ball did fall through into that space. But they will keep possession. They've got the attacking long corner through Jan Peterson. And that's Julius Talaval. And cleaned up, of course, if you hadn't guessed it already, by Nitesh Sukha. And I think for the second time there, the Pasifika men's keen to celebrate without actually doing the work to score the goal. But the ball did go in the goal. It definitely was not touched by a Pasifika men's side, despite the nice touch pass in from Luke Aldred. There may be some auditions for an upcoming Shortland Street episode, and some of these boys will be along for it, but they're not fooling anybody here.
Yeah, Xander Fraser leading that one from the front foot, but Max Beach not falling for that, and I don't even think he fooled anybody. Maybe himself, but as we continue here in the fourth quarter. Pasifika men again just holding on the ball. They find themselves in the unusual part of the field of their own 23 area.
Yeah, Stupid did just make a small error there and allowed Xavier Guy to continue with possession, but won it back pretty well as Luke Aldred throws a bomb out of the back that we haven't seen a lot of from the Pasifika men's side today. Fitunukisi asking for the foot, not getting it, but they will keep the possession with a long corner. Jan Peterson's got the ball at the top. That is a very tidy tackle there from Kenan Bicker, who just working back on Jake Suchun does enough to get the ball back onto Suchun's foot.
Is there anything better than a coach wants to see than his central striker running back and making a tackle on the T spot? Fantastic tackle. Yeah,
absolutely. And it's something we spoke about in the build-up. The fitness of this New Zealand Indians side was always going to pay off in this back end of the game, and you can see there, like you said, their centre striker, who was probably 60 to 65 metres away, worked back and helped there to defend the long corner and stop the attack of Suchun on the baseline. So we just see the Indian men's side, one of the rare opportunities for them and rare bits of possession down in the attacking third for this quarter. But they have kept possession into the circle, unable to link up, but it is enterprising play, and that will please Coach Yogesh Hari, who will have seen his side under pressure for large parts of this second half, but still willing and able to go forward when the opportunities present. As we do see an overhead option out of Aiden Fraser. Here it's Adrian Smith who turns Alexander Dio around a couple of times.
So we tick under 4 minutes to go here in the fourth quarter. Do you think Coach Lever will be looking to pull his keeper, Brad, and try and throw an extra striker up front?
Look, I think it's always an interesting one. Callum Grassick, who was fantastic for them yesterday, maybe as a coach you say, well, we'll just keep him on, but we'll pull our defenders off and chuck some strikers. And we say to Callum, your job is to save everything, and we're just going to try and score goals. So it'll be interesting to see what tactic Brett does choose if they still see themselves down in the next couple of minutes here. It doesn't appear that they are trying to get him off at the moment, but I do expect them to continue throwing bodies forward here as Aiden Fraser does survey the circle. And maybe we've put the commentator's curse on him. We've seen 7 quarters of hockey where Nitesh has been almost perfect, and then 2 mistakes in this last quarter, just giving another opportunity to the Pasifika men. It's an opportunity they need if they're going to want to equalise here. The last couple of penalty corners well covered up by goalkeeper Bhavesh Bana, so they may look to try and do something different here if they want to equalise with just under 3 minutes to go in this first match between the New Zealand Pasifika men and New Zealand Indian men. Scores 4-3 to the Indians.
So we see Aldridge on bracket 1 and Fraser on bracket 2. I think they'll just want something goalward here, really put the pressure on the Indian defensive unit. As Aldridge just didn't pick that one up, however the danger's not over for the Indians. Oh, just wide Suchun, I think.
Yeah, that was, again, certainly not the penalty corner that they were hoping for, but as it has twice already today, probably been their most genuine opportunities from these broken down penalty corners is, Luke Aldred did roll the stick over it, but Sam Hewitt, who did pick the ball up in a little bit of a scramble there, found Suchun with the ball, and he's just hit the outside of the goal, and the Indians do get away with not conceding there. So Suka's mistake inside his own circle not being made to pay for, as the Indian side do try and keep possession at the right end of the field for these last couple of minutes. They are up 1 goal, and they will be happy to play at the right end of the field.
So we see the goalkeeper come now for the Pasifika side, so we've got time off at the moment, so just under 2 minutes to go for the Indians to hold on here for a 4-3 lead. Watch everything come at them now with the Pasifika men.
Yeah, what you can't quite see on screen is they've rolled on Adam Kailea, who is an extra striker. They've got Sam Hewitt and Jake Suchun very high up the field, up on the baselines. As we see, that is Jake Suchun there, and just unable to find his players in the circle. So very apparent that Brett Lever has added an extra striker. They want to play high up the field and present targets for the long balls of Aiden Fraser and Stu Pitu to bounce on. As Adam Kailea, the new man on, does find Jan Peterson.
Oh, brilliantly saved by Bhavesh Barna, has made the stick save of his life.
That is a fantastic bit of hockey, both attacking and defensively. Between the ball through from Kailea to Peterson and then to the shot from Sammy Hewitt, and well saved by Bhavesh Barna on the stick save there as Luke Aldridge just works his way through. And again, on clean-up, Nitesh Sukha does enough to clear the danger. There might be time here for one last punch to be thrown by the Pasifika men's side, with Xander Fraser throwing the ball into younger brother Aiden Fraser. He just surveys his option going forward, but it is turned over.
Finds Eswa. He's got a 3-on-1 and an empty net up ahead. What can they do? Pitu makes a great tackle. However, that's the end of the ball game, ladies and gentlemen. The New Zealand Indian men take a 4-3 win over the New Zealand Pasifika men.
Yeah, what a fantastic way to start day 2 of the New Zealand Heritage Hockey Tournament. The Indian men coming out tops 4-3 with goals to Kelly and Jerem, Nitesh Sukha and Ishan Patel. With the Pasifika men's goals to Luke Aldridge, Jake Suchun and Zach Burnamasi. Fantastic game of hockey. It's exactly what we expected. High-paced, a lot of goals and some fantastic skills. Now, the Indian men will be happy to have picked up their 2 wins and will be looking towards a final on Monday with a good performance tomorrow. And the New Zealand Pasifika men will have a big task against the New Zealand Māori team tomorrow. Thank you for joining us on Sky Sport and on the FIH app. Thanks to Local Gecko Productions. We will see you for the next game coming up between the New Zealand Pasifika women and the New Zealand Indian women. Thank you.
Oh yeah, defibrillated. Nice. How did it all go?
Yeah, it did. Eventually went well.